Welcome back to GD and Teacups.
Here's the interview with Life in Film.
How do they think producers influence the outcome of a record?
What were they expecting when working with Stephen Street?
Yeah, I think you can kind of tell if it's a certain producer's production, I think, or if some band goes with a producer for like their next album, you can hear the difference between an old album and a new one. And so when we went with Stephen, we definitely thought that's one of the reasons why we'd like to work with him, because we liked the sound of all the other stuff he's done.
I think he gets like, it's quite like most of the parts like we felt quite good about in the songs, but he captures them really well, and he's got a really good ear for guitar sounds and stuff, and capturing like a nice warm kind of like quite a live sort of sound. So that's something that we hadn't been able to do before, because I suppose like when we've recorded before, we've just been trying to get like all the parts played perfectly rather than actually capturing something a bit bigger, like the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good experience.
It's also good because he's got a big back catalogue of things that we really love. I think it's sometimes you can just go make it sound like that, and he does.
Is there such a thing as a healthy conflict, or on the contrary, is every conflict healthy?
Basically, what happens when they disagree?
Yeah. I think it's good for like that you disagree on stuff sometimes. Well, maybe because if there's a bit in there that sounds shit, someone will need to say, or I don't know. It's good to to really like sort of work a tune as much as possible and try and find the right bit. Sometimes it's sort of easy to like settle on something that comes to you really quickly, because if it's your part, you just get used to playing it, and it's nice to sort of that we're all sort of pushing each other a bit further with each song.
I think it's good to be critical of each other.
We're pretty good at that.
No, we're all quite stubborn in ourselves and our ideas, so that by the time we've bickered away to get what we want, it's exactly what we all four want. So
yeah, I don't think we've recorded anything that anyone particularly listens to and doesn't like a certain part that someone else has played. They probably just
I don't like about your part.
Yeah, alright, well I take that back then. That's me. I can't believe that's true though. I find that hard to believe.
Can art be disjointed from the human being who creates it?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because like, I don't know, sometimes it's like, I don't know if like with like maybe like Jim Morrison, say like sometimes he's kind of a buffoon, yeah. But when he gets it right, he gets it really right, and I guess no one else would be able to do the same thing, because they probably wouldn't put themselves on the line to sometimes come across as a bit of a wally.
I also say like, don't meet your idols, and the idea of that is you meet them and they turn out to be
Idiots.
Yeah, well, not necessarily idiots, but like different to how you perceive them, and so I think your perception of them is probably more important to how they are actually in reality.
How do they deal with frustration?
We never get frustrated. It's just been plain sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually just go and get pissed up somewhere and stop practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of usually after about an hour, we usually know if we're like working on stuff, we know if it's not going to happen.
So we started taking beers to practice before we go now.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, I guess you sort of think nothing's going to happen, and then sometimes you get so frustrated that you don't care anymore, and then something does happen because you're not really worried about it. So I don't know. But yeah, you can't really pick moments to be productive or be creative. It's just sort of bit of luck, really.
Does inspiration exist?
It definitely exists. Yeah, it's hard to capture it. It's like, yeah, it's sort of, I guess, like, I think with like writing songs and that, you're sort of always waiting for that moment of inspiration, and it's sort of, I suppose that you get better at when it does come along. You get better at sort of channeling it, and you have more composure about it, hopefully, because you sort of, and I suppose the more songs you write and play, then when you do have like moments of like inspiration, then you've got like more channels for it to go down, and you've got more ways to develop it. So yeah,
it's also quite hard when you have something happen that you should be inspired by it, and then you try and focus, and then it just doesn't work at all, but then something will just come and go. Oh,
yeah, you have to be pretty relaxed, I think, to have, even if you're sad or whatever, then you still have to be in a quite sort of like chilled out place, I think.
We're sure you've enjoyed Life in Film.
Now stay tuned for what's coming next.